Britain was 48 hours away from starvation. That's how close German U-boats came to winning World War II without firing a single shot on land. This is the story of the deadliest naval campaign in history, where convoys of merchant ships became floating coffins in the freezing Atlantic, and where one German admiral's wolf-pack tactics nearly brought the world's greatest empire to its knees. September 1939. Britain declares war on Germany. But here's the terrifying reality. Britain is an island that imports 60% of its food. Every single day, the nation needs 1 million tons of supplies just to survive. Cut those supply lines, and Britain doesn't need to be invaded. It simply starves to death. And Admiral Karl Doenitz knew this better than anyone. Doenitz had spent World War I in submarines. He understood their lethal potential. Between the wars, he developed something revolutionary, Rudeltaktik, the wolf-pack tactic. Instead of submarines hunting alone, they'd coordinate like wolves stalking prey. One U-boat would spot a convoy crossing the Atlantic, radio its position to headquarters, and Doenitz would direct an entire pack to converge on that exact location. Then they'd strike together, overwhelming the escorts, attacking from multiple angles in the darkness. And it worked with devastating efficiency. From June to October 1940, the period U-boat crews called the Happy Time, they sank 274 merchant ships. In October alone, 352,000 tons of shipping went to the bottom. One convoy lost 21 out of 30 ships in a single night. The wolf packs would surface after dark, their low profiles invisible against the black water, and fire torpedoes into the columns of merchant vessels. Explosions would light up the night sky. Men would scream as they hit the freezing water. Oil fires would spread across the surface, and the U-boats would slip away into the darkness. Britain responded with the convoy system, grouping merchant ships together with destroyer and corvette escorts. But there was a problem. The Black Pit, a gap in the mid-Atlantic beyond the range of land-based aircraft where convoys had no air cover. This became a killing zone. In May and June 1942, U-boats sank over 1 million tons of merchant shipping. By November 1942, losses peaked at over 700,000 tons in a single month. Winston Churchill later admitted he feared losing the Battle of the Atlantic more than anything else in World War II. The statistics were apocalyptic. Between 1939 and 1945, German U-boats sank 3,500 Allied merchant ships, totaling 14.5 million gross tons. That's enough cargo to fill a line of trucks stretching from London to Moscow and back. 72,200 Allied sailors and merchant seamen died in the freezing Atlantic waters. In March 1943 alone, wolf-packs sank 627,000 tons of shipping. Britain's food reserves dropped to dangerous levels. Rationing became severe. The island nation was being slowly strangled. But March 1943 marked the turning point. The Allies deployed very long-range Liberator aircraft that could finally cover the Black Pit. New radar technology could detect surfaced U-boats at night. Escort carriers brought air power directly to the convoys. And critically, Allied codebreakers cracked German naval communications, allowing convoys to route around wolf-pack patrol lines. In May 1943, the tables turned violently. Doenitz lost 41 U-boats in a single month. The kill ratio reversed. Suddenly, a U-boat was being sunk for every merchant ship torpedoed. The wolf packs were being hunted to extinction. By war's end, Germany had lost 783 U-boats and 30,000 submariners, 3/4 of their entire submarine force. It was the highest casualty rate of any military branch in World War II. The Battle of the Atlantic lasted 2,074 days, making it the longest continuous military campaign of World War II. It was won not by battleships or aircraft carriers, but by merchant sailors who kept sailing into waters they knew were filled with submarines, by escort crews on tiny corvettes who fought in mountainous seas, and by the industrial might that built ships faster than U-boats could sink them. If Doenitz had started the war with the 300 U-boats he requested instead of just 56, Britain might have fallen before America entered the war. The invasion of Europe would have been impossible. World War II would have ended very differently. The Atlantic convoys didn't just supply Britain, they decided the entire war.